Good morning. Well, it's Saturday morning on the New Thought Media Network. Welcome to the Science, Mind, and Spirit Conversation Series. I'm Reverend Barbara Jean Schreiner Trudell, founder and spiritual director of the Universal Joy Center in Toronto, Canada, and my pronouns are she, they. Well, there's a team of us, as you saw in the opening graphic, and every Saturday morning, we join you here on NT Media to share the science of mind, the principles, the practices, and more than anything else, how to apply those principles in your life today. So if you're watching live, I would love it if you would put a greeting in the chat and let us know you're here. And, if you have any questions or comments, hi, Kevin, then please put that in the chat and we will try to get to it to answer those questions. I am so excited to be here today and to share this time with you. Pardon me. The today's show is, taken from a book by Ernest Holmes. But how this program works is we start from January to July and we go through the Science of Mind textbook chapter by chapter. And then in the last months of the year, we actually explore articles and resources from the Science of Mind Library and Archives, which is available 24/7. To help us go even deeper. And we can read more of Ernest Holmes' writings and other resources related to science of mind specifically. There's so much there. Go check it out. Take out a membership. It's really a great thing to access. scienceofmindarchives.com. So our topic today comes from the book Think Your Troubles Away by Ernest Holmes. Yes, that is who we are studying from today. Good morning, everyone. I'm so delighted that you're here. And if you have a question or a comment, please put it in the chat and we will get to it. Most definitely we will get to it. All right. So the book today, we're covering the chapter New Freedom, which is starts at the bottom of page 17. So I invite you, if you have it, to take a look at it. And if not, well, listen and hear the incredible words of the Reverend Dr. Ernest Holmes. He starts this particular chapter, in the rapid evolution of the thought of our times, we hear a great deal about superstition and reality. Some claim that the entire intellectual edifice upon which the religious thought of the world has been built is a false premise, and that our acceptance of it is superstition. While others claim that the principal trouble with the world today is its lack of faith in some invisible power of good responding to the petitions of humankind. So we'll start by, just talking about what each of these words means. Superstition, we mean any belief which holds that there are powers, presences, or intelligences of a universal nature which respond more quickly to one person than to another. By reality, we mean the nature of ultimate truth. It is self-evident that we know but little about the nature of reality. The scientist finds everything culminating in laws, the philosopher in abstract ideas, the artist in pure feeling, and the religionist in absolute being. And I would say, as a spiritual being, that is the place where we should be living, I think. So when we take a look at these two things, when we look at superstition and reality, and with reality, we're talking capital R reality. So we're talking about the nature of life itself, the nature of spirit. When we go back to that idea, we know that it is all encompassing. So we are part of this one whole thing. And because we're part of it, the nature of it is also our nature. So if God is all powerful, then I am powerful. If God is creative, then I am creative. So there's the aspects of the divine right here that I can and do access constantly and continuously. Now, sometimes I do it consciously, but other times I do it unconsciously. And of course, the results are not the same when I do it from an unconscious place. But understanding the differences in the approach to life and that they're not as far apart as what they appear to be. Ernest Holmes wrote, the apparent gap comes rather from seeking to approach reality from one direction only. And impartial getting together might show that the nature of reality starts in absolute being, impulsed by pure feeling, giving birth to ideas which operate in accordance with immutable laws. So when we look at this, we want to make sure that we are coming to the infinite from both that place of a personal relationship as well as this sense of mystery. So there is a part of us that absolutely knows who we are. And yet we go through life saying, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Well, we want to stop that because the truth is we do know. But by saying I don't know and knowing that our words have power, we have actually put up a wall that prevents us from accessing the information that is already within us. So we want to remove that wall. We want to turn around, take that wall down, and allow a free flow of ideas and thoughts that can allow us to begin to manifest in a more direct way and a more consistent way. So he goes on to say, indeed, an analysis of this situation seems to evidence this type of reality and this kind of unity. If so, we should discover that infinite person does not contradict infinite law, that absolute will does not necessarily deny spontaneous feeling, and that the universal ideal of truth and of beauty must necessarily give birth to that which is both truthful and beautiful. So when we look at the idea of this superstitious approach, it's one thing to believe in infinite will and person, and quite another to believe that the will of infinite person is more solicitous for the well-being of one individual than of another. And it is one thing to believe that the nature of reality is such that it must respond to us in such degree as we approach it in its true nature, and quite another to believe that by petition it will or can change its nature. So right off the top, we can't make God do anything. God, the divine spirit, the beloved, the absolute first cause, whatever name we want to give to this spirit, what we know is that it is everything. It is everything. And its nature is to express through its creation. So there's never an opportunity for it to make a decision that I like this person better than I like that person. That's not going to happen. That will never, ever happen. Okay. The universe responds through us. And this, of course, is where the challenge lies. There's no problem in God. God is the infinite absolute, right? It is spirit, it is energy. But we, because it moves through us, it's going through our belief system, our consciousness, our memories, and then coming out as something other than what it was in the beginning. Does that make sense? Making sense to you a little bit? All right. So if we look at life and we decide that we want something and we start going, oh yeah, I want this, I want that new car right there, the one sitting in my neighbor's driveway, that is a great car, that's the car I want. What we've done is we have, number one, we have put forth an idea that would take from someone else, right? So we don't do that. We also have put forth an idea of something exact that may or may not be the right and perfect thing for us. And so what we want to do instead is to sit back and go, wow, I'm in need of a new car. My neighbor's got a great one. That looks really good. Maybe I'll talk to him and see how it is. And then I'll go to a few dealerships and see what they've got and what really strikes me. I think when we are doing what's in the highest, best good for all, okay, we are working in reality. When we are trying to take from someone else to bless us, we are operating in that mode of superstition. And that doesn't work. You know, God doesn't like my football team better than yours. So there's no point in me saying, hey, God, let me win. What I have to do is go within myself and ask myself, what is it I need to do and to be? What qualities do I need to have in order to create this win? Okay, it's personal and it never takes from anyone or anything else. So he goes on to say, if the nature of reality is wholeness, perfection, and completion, any expression of reality must be wholeness, perfection, and completion. It is certain that reality could never change its nature or its expression. It would be futile to ask God to be God, to pray that the spirit of perfection should enter our being and make us whole, but to seek through realization to enter into the nature of wholeness would be a true approach to reality. So when we're doing our treatment work and we're treating for a specific outcome, we want to make sure that we are paying attention to the language that we're using, ensuring that we're speaking in a positive now language, present tense, now, and make sure that for me, it's always first person as well, because there is only one thing going on and only one of us here. So I would treat for, you know, I am so grateful to be part of this incredible divine universe, this glorious place of light and love. I relax into it, knowing it's right here, being me now and always and forever. And as such, all that I have need of is already provided. My new car, the money to make it possible. I drive through life with ease and grace, feeling a sense of freedom and joy as a result of my clear, clear sense of reality. I know that all is well, and so it is. So again, I'm not asking God to do something. I'm acknowledging within myself the ability to do what needs to be done, to be the person that I need to be in order to accomplish what it is I seek to accomplish. Emerson tells us that any prayer for less than the all good is vicious. Yeah, that's a big word, isn't it? By this, he means that there is no isolated good, no separated good, no absolutely individual good. He does not mean that it is impossible to individualize good, but that the individual mind is already a part of the universal wholeness, which truth, when discovered and embodied, leads to its proper manifestation, the wholeness of the individualized life. So we're already there. You know, people will sometimes enter our centers and say, you know, well, I've been, you know, doing this spiritual work. I'm trying to get spiritual. No. What we're trying to do is be human. Trying to figure out this human thing from our spiritual perspective. You see, as spiritual beings, we are unbound, unlimited. We are absolutely free. Free to do, be, create. But in this form, this human form that feels so finite, How do I allow that to just express? There's a challenge there where we will sometimes hold back, or we'll sit back and go, I don't know what to do, which, as I said earlier, is kind of a lie, because we always know. We are born with the instinct to believe, to have faith, to expect, and to receive. We're born with this. So, why is it that we're not having that experience today? Well, I think we forgot. Yeah, we forgot. We forgot what was going on. We forgot what we were doing. We forgot who we were. And so now it's time to wake up, to remember. Now's the time. Now, 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 now. There's only now. And now is the point of power. There is no other place where power exists. It's now. And so as I relax into the now moment and begin to listen intuitively, I begin to see the path laid out for me. I see where my next step is. So one of the things we want to remember is that when we are treating, the first step of treatment is by far, in my mind, the most important. Why is it the most important? It's where we connect to the absolute. It's where we bring our consciousness into experience with that one divine mind. It's where we become conscious that there is only this one thing. And as we sit in that and breathe into that and allow ourselves to begin to feel it, then we move on to the other steps, the rest of the treatment process. But we begin by acknowledging and being in that place of oneness, oneness with the absolute. We become conscious of it. You see, it is who we are and it is where we are at all times, but we're not necessarily conscious of that idea. And so we work from this place of superstition, going, well, maybe it might be, oh, possibly. Well, it is what it is. So let us begin to relax a little bit and step forward into life in a bigger way, in a broader way, so that we can begin to share that true light that is within us. And when we're doing this treatment work, we're not treating to get God to do a favor for us. We're treating to clear our mind of negativity, of doubt, of worry, of fear, and allowing the presence of love to be expressed in and through us with a sense of constancy, so that we're not blocking and stopping it at any point. Ernest Holmes wrote, treatment is transmuted from a material and a suspicious basis in such degree as it seeks, through contemplation, to recognize the inevitableness of the human's divine nature, the absoluteness of our real being, not a being isolated from, but included in a universal wholeness. And then we could call this scientific, artistic, philosophic, and religious at the same time. Yeah. See, when I think about our teaching, I think about it as more of a philosophy than a religion. And yes, it is, it is spiritual, it is a religion. But I view it a little bit differently, because some religions have such strict dogma, and we don't have that. What we have is an opportunity for each individual to be who they are, to relax into the wholeness of their being, and to begin to live from that wholeness day by day. For us to be able to honor the path that each person's on, whether we agree with it or not. Whether we agree with what somebody has said or not said, we want to make sure that we are paying attention to the things that are going on in our minds and in our lives. And we want to become conscious of the fact that we are one with the absolute. Yes, we are one with the absolute. Repeat after me. I am the I am presence. I am the I am presence. See, when we start telling ourselves this stuff, when we start using these words in a powerful, positive, productive way, we begin to shift the course of our existence. We begin to move in a direction that takes us forward in ways that we can only begin to imagine. So, where are you in this journey? And where is it that you would like to be? Allow yourself to really surrender into that idea and ask the question, who am I? Yeah, big question. And sometimes when asked that question, some people go, well, I'm Barbara Jean, or I'm Robert, or I'm Kevin. Well, that's actually an aspect of being that is not who you are, or at least not all that you are. See, we are spiritual beings having this human experience. The human experience sometimes is a little rough. So, um, so when we take a look at the nature of reality and the infinite intelligence operating, we can see it, it can be religious in that it recognizes the necessity of an infinite personalness, an infinite and absolute being. It can be dynamic and effective in such measure as it has absolute faith and conviction that when it is true to the nature of reality, reality responds to it. It is impersonal in such degree as it realizes that reality imparts of itself alike to each and all. So spirit gives to all alike. There's no place where it is not. There is no one that is deprived from its good. There's no chance that one of us could be missed. However, the missing happens when I my withdraw my energy or withdraw my thinking and begin to think along the lines of superstition. In that moment I feel separate. I'm not, but I feel like I am. I feel like I am. It's interesting to watch as we do this work and we begin to see how we impact the world and the things that we do in the world. And it's important for us to understand that we are in service. We are in service to our own life and to all of humankind. And knowing that, that means that I must pay attention to what's going on around me. It's important that I know what's going on around me. Now, I'm not one who follows the news. I find it a little depressing. However, I know a lot of people who do. For me, when I do see news stories, I see it as a prayer request, treatment request. So I treat. And I treat because I don't know the individual parties and I don't know exactly where they want to go or what they want to do or what's best. I always treat for the highest and best good. And I do that because I don't have an understanding of the situation that allows me to determine what the outcome should be or what these people would want the outcome to be. So I never treat unless somebody asks. And then I always ask, what do you want? And how would you feel if you had it? Two really good questions when you're doing treatment with anybody. So he goes on to say the practical application of this apparently abstract approach to reality is very simple. One should feel that they and all people are divine. So we'll start there, right? Everyone I see, everyone I interact with, everywhere I go, whether it's the people driving beside me on the road, the clerk who's handling my groceries at the checkout, no matter what it is, where it is, I must see that person as divine. Yeah. Now, that doesn't mean I like their behavior. It doesn't mean that they're now my best friend. But what it does mean is that I love and respect them as divine beings living their existence. And how they do it is none of my business. True. None of my business. So as we're journeying along, it's really important that when we judge, and we do that, don't we? But when we judge someone or something, what I would like for you to do in the next week is to notice the judgment and then ask yourself where you are judging yourself in that similar way. See, if I'm judging something, there's something in me that is disconnected. So I want to reconnect to it. And the only way I can is to acknowledge it and be with it. So I sit back and I go, okay, here's this thing that's happening. Now what? What am I going to do about that? Now I can sit in it and take a moment to stop the doing. You know how we're human doings sometimes? Truly, we have to get back to being human beings. And so we need to be with the challenge or whatever's come up for us. We need to be with it, to notice it. And as we notice that judgment, just ask ourselves, when have I felt this way before? Because we begin to get in touch with sort of a memory or something that causes us to move constantly in that way. So we want to shift that. So he goes on to say, one should feel that they and all people are divine. So that's our first step. All united in one common mind, all moving to one common end, in the manifestation of this infinite mind. And yet at the same time, each can feel that they are unique, a particular individualization rooted in the same unity, but manifesting a distinct identity, forever the same, but yet forever different. So when we look around a room of people, for example, everybody looks a little different, right? I mean, even twins, you can look at identical twins and you can see differences. If it's not in their physical body, it's in their ways that they respond and act to life, react to life. So we can pay attention to those things and notice what's going on. And when we have that judgment or criticism, and we want to really check in where we're judging and criticizing ourselves, where we're feeling guilt or shame, and begin to look at that and allow ourselves to really change the way we look at life and the way we look at ourselves. So that is the most important, because I can only give what I have access to. So if I want to be a loving person in the world, I must begin right here and love myself. I have to give up the judgment, the criticism. You're too old, you're too fat, you're too short, you're too tall, you're too something, right? We've got all these twos. And then we've got all the shoulds. Well, I should have done this. I should have done that. I should have done the. If there's a should, just drop it. Should means no. Yeah, that's my thought anyway. If I think I should do something, I want to check in and ask why. Because somebody will like me better if I do it, or because I feel compelled. So check in with yourself and notice how you're feeling and where you're feeling things and how it's working for you. He goes on to write, through meditation and by contemplation, we arrive at the essence of the power of treatment, which is identification. He also imposed, he's talking about Jesus now, Jesus also imposed this condition upon sonship, the necessity of entering through faith and acceptance into the nature of reality. So it does require faith. It does require for us to have faith. And I'm going to say we all have faith. It's just that some of us have faith in bad things happening. We have faith in our fear. We have faith in, Murphy's Law. But what we want to do is turn that around and begin to recognize, acknowledge, and realize I am one with the infinite. The attributes, the powers, the presence of this one are in me, and I am able to access and use it consciously here and now. Yeah. So we want to really get there. And sometimes that's a bit of a stretch, isn't it? But that's where our freedom comes from. Our freedom comes from surrendering into the now moment and realizing the power that we have. Surrendering into this now moment and going, yes, because that's exactly what the universe is saying to you. Yes, regardless of what you put in. It's like putting in a virus in your computer. Yeah, it's going to crash it, it's going to mess it up, you're going to lose stuff. Not a good idea. But you can put in a piece of, put in QuickBooks or something, and all of a sudden it's working for you. It's the same thing with mind. We live our lives as if we have no power at all, but the truth is we have all the power. Individually, we have the power to shift consciousness, the power to change the direction of our lives. We have the power within us to be what it is we would love to be. Nothing is withheld. Nothing is withheld. The universe only says yes. So imagine what the universe is saying when I look in the mirror in the morning and go, oh my God, I look rough. The universe just says yes. Or if I look in the mirror in the morning and I go, yeah, new day, I'm ready. And the universe says yes. My attitude changes in those two experiences, and therefore my day is going to be adjusted as well. We want to begin to speak about ourselves and think about ourselves in a way that's really positive and productive. Thinking you're an idiot is not a strong place to live, whether it's true or not. Because the truth is, none of us are. All of us are created in the image and of the likeness of the One. Think about that for a minute. The image and the likeness of the One. Yeah. And if I'm created in the image and of the likeness of the One, and the One is all powerful, all knowing, and equally present everywhere, what that says to me is I am powerful. Yes, I am intelligent. And I am connected to all that is. Imagine waking up every day and telling yourself that. I am powerful. I am intelligent. And I am connected to the universal oneness. I am a part of it. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. You imagine how your day would go, how your week would go, how your month would go, what your business would be doing? We have forgotten how powerful we are, and we are powerful, and our freedom comes from that awareness and understanding. No one can give it to us. We must find it for ourselves. We must find it for ourselves. He finishes off this particular chapter of the book where he says, a treatment for an isolated good, for a good which is to be enjoyed by one and withheld from others, cannot enter into the nature of reality to such a degree as would a prayer or treatment which includes the all good, which at the same time recognizes the presence of an individual good. So collective good and an individual good always when we're treating. Viewed from the meditative and contemplative viewpoint, based upon this concept of reality, affirmative in its acceptance and seeking to become an embodiment of the essence of its own realization, treatment will yet be discovered to be the most dynamic force there is in the lives of individuals and in the destiny of peoples. So think about that for a minute. A dynamic force. Treatment or prayer, a dynamic force. So when we think about that, imagine for a moment that you got up every day and you did treatment for ultimate good, for you and the world. There's an energy in that. There's something that happens when we put our conscious awareness into that idea I am one with this infinite divine energy. Wow. And because I'm one with it, I have the same attributes. I am powerful. I am intelligent. I am connected. I remember telling my young daughter when she was in grade 3, and I don't know if they do this in the US, but in Canada, they do standardized testing at grade 3, 6, 9, and I think 12. And these tests are to show how the school is performing in educating the students and how well the teachers are doing in educating these students. And what's interesting is obviously this has nothing to do with the student, and yet the way it is presented to them is that, oh, you got to do really well and you got to do great on this. This is a really important test. Make sure you study hard and get yourself ready. And they make a big deal out of it. So my daughter's going to school in the morning and pardon me, it's the day of the test. And she's worried about it, going, oh, I don't know. So I stopped her at the door and I said, okay, here's what you need to know. You're one with everything. All of the answers on this test are already known. They're known in the mind of the one. And because you're one with it, you can tap into that. The other thing I want you to know is this test holds no importance to you, to your level of ability, your marks in your grade. It's not going to affect any of it. What it will affect is the teacher in the school. Pardon me. So I invited her to think about that for a moment. And I said, so really, there's nothing to worry about. And she was like, oh, okay. And off she went to school, not worrying. I reminded her of that in grade 6. I reminded her of that in grade 9. Everything that is, and we all can tap into it. Now we've got the World Wide Web. Oh, we've had it for a long time. But as we look at the internet and we look at the scope of what we are able to do as a result of it, I mean, I talked to a colleague yesterday who talked about the fact that she has a client in China and she's here in Canada, in Toronto. And somehow she is able to do her work across the globe. It's time for us to reframe what we know about life or what we believe about life and allow ourselves to live in a place of curiosity and imagination. In that place of curiosity, we are looking to discover something. And it might be about another person, it might be about a company, it might be about our own lives, but we're in a curious state where we want to figure things out, we want to see where things are going, we want to understand. And that's a great place to live, in that place with a desire to understand. So curiosity does that. Imagination allows us to begin to see the possibility that life holds for us. It's not restrictive, it's expansive. And with imagination, we can begin to move the energy in such a way as to really move us forward quite quickly. So let us pay attention to the thoughts that we think, most importantly. Those ones will tell you a lot. The other thing is take a look at your life. How does it look right now? Do you have all the money you need? Do you have all the friends you want? Do you have the job or career that you love? Just take a look. And as you take a look, just know that somehow, somewhere, there is something going on that is absolutely remarkable. And all we have to do is allow ourselves to be present, allow ourselves to awaken to a bigger idea. We've got a few of you in the chat, and I'm really glad to see you here. The having people here and listening to this teaching allows ourselves to really wake up to a bigger possibility for who we are and what we can accomplish. I really believe we're here by divine appointment. There are no mistakes. Every single one of us arrived here perfectly. Doesn't matter what it looks like. And in the moment that we can be grateful for the life that we have, for the journey that we're walking, for the things that we have learned and discovered, as we allow ourselves to really go there, we begin to free ourselves up. We free ourselves up to be fully present, to begin to create with a true sense of grace and gratitude, to feel a deep sense of life overall, and to really acknowledge the gifts that we've been given. You see, not everybody got to be this age. So I should be grateful for the age that I am, because I'm here and others are not. And because I'm here, I know there's something for me to do. And I believe what that is to allow the authentic voice in me to be revealed, to allow myself to really stand in a place of power and possibility so that I can be the best me that I can be. That you could be the best you by living in that place of wonder and curiosity and imagination, knowing that anything is possible. Yes, anything is possible. And it's time to really open up to that, to wake up and to stand tall and to celebrate who we are, moment by moment and day by day. Well, another week, another lesson, another opportunity to celebrate and to really acknowledge and be the person that you were created to be. So we're up. Our time is up for today. I hope you'll join us again next Saturday and throughout the week. There's a lot of programming here at New Thought Media Network. And this program, all of it serves your well-being. And if you'd like to make a donation, you can go to ntmedia.org and click donate, or even consider a recurring donation, because our programming relies on your generosity. So thank you for sharing your morning with me. I'm Reverend Barbara Jean, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember, life loves you, and I do too. Bye for now.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.